Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. Today we're going to tackle something you probably haven't thought much about.
Okay.
How does Google keep your data safe while letting you share things instantly? We're diving into Zanzibar, their
Oh.
Global Authorization System.
Yeah.
It's like the security guard for all things Google, Calendar, Drive, YouTube, you name it.
What's mind-blowing is that Zanzibar is making trillions of access decisions every second.
Trillions.
Ooh, trillions.
Okay, we need to unpack this.
Yeah.
We've got a research paper written by the Zanzibar engineers themselves.
Nice.
So it's like getting a peek behind the curtain at Google's security magic.
Yeah.
But before we get lost in the technical weeds,
Okay.
why should we even care about Zanzibar?
Well, because data breaches and confusing permissions are a real headache, right?
Yeah.
Zanzibar is designed to be the hero of this story.
Okay.
Imagine a system that not only protects your data, but also makes sharing super simple and lightning fast.
Okay.
That's Zanzibar's goal.
I'm intrigued. So this paper dives into a challenge they call the new enemy problem.
Mm-hmm.
What is that exactly?
It's all about timing and consistency.
Okay.
Let's say you remove someone from a shared folder.
Right.
Sounds simple.
Sure.
But what if, right before being removed, they ask someone else to add new documents to that folder?
Right.
Suddenly you've got a potential security gap.
Ah, I see. So Zanzibar needs to make sure that even if actions happen super quickly, the permissions always stay up to date.
Yeah,
No sneaking in through a back door.
exactly. Zanzibar uses something called external consistency.
Okay.
Think of it as a time machine for your data,
Right.
ensuring that all actions, no matter how fast they come in, happen in the correct order.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do they make sure this time machine doesn't slow everything down?
Right.
Checking timestamps for every single action seems like it would take forever.
That's where their clever Azuki system comes in.
Okay.
Imagine Azuki as a unique timestamp attached to every version of your data. When you make a change, a new Zuki is created.
Right.
Zanzibar uses these Zukis to ensure that all access decisions are based on the most up-to-date information.
So even if someone tries to use an outdated permission after they've been removed, Zanzibar would know based on the Zuki and say, nope, not happening.
Precisely. It's like having a security guard at every door, checking ID cards and making sure only the right people get in.
That's reassuring. But Google products have so many different ways of sharing things.
Right.
How can one system handle all those variations?
Zanzibar was built for flexibility.
Okay.
It uses a beta model based on relation tuples.
Okay.
Imagine these as simple statements like user X can view document Y.
All right.
Zanzibar can combine and manipulate these statements to create incredibly detailed access control rules.
So it's like building with digital Lego blocks.
Yeah.
You can create any kind of permission structure you need.
Exactly, and this flexibility is key.
Right.
Because Google products range from simple things like sharing a photo to complex enterprise-level access controls.
Yeah.
Zanzibar handles it all.
Okay, so we've got a system that's super fast, consistent, and flexible. I'm starting to see why this is such a big deal.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious, how do Google products actually use Zanzibar? Is there some kind of secret handshake?
They use Zanzibar's API, which is like a set of commands for managing access control.
Okay.
Think of it as a language that Google products use to talk to Zanzibar and say, hey, can this user do this?
Interesting. So what are some of the key phrases in this language?
Well, there's read, which is used to fetch information about who has access to what.
Okay.
Then there's write, which allows modifying those relationships, like adding someone to a shared folder.
Okay, so those cover the basics of reading and updating permissions.
Yeah.
What else can Google products do with this API?
Zanzibar goes beyond just basic permissions.
Oh.
It also includes watch, which enables real-time monitoring of changes.
Right.
Imagine getting instantly notified if someone joins a project you're collaborating on or changes permissions for a file you're working on. Ah, so you can stay in the loop and make sure nothing shady is happening.
Exactly.
It.
And then there are check and expand.
Okay,
Check is what performs those crucial yes or no authorization decisions.
gotcha.
Can this user access this file? Can they edit it?
Mm-hmm.
And expand helps understand the full set of permissions for a given object.
So it's not just about granting access.
Right.
It's
yeah,
about understanding all the nuances of who can do what and when.
precisely.
Okay.
And this comprehensive API is what allows Google products to leverage Zanzibar's power while tailoring it to their specific needs.
This is all incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
but I'm also a little intimidated by the sheer scale of it all.
Sure.
How does Zanzibar actually work on a technical level with all this data and all these requests coming in from around the world?
That's where we dive into the architecture and implementation of Zanzibar.
Okay.
Get ready.
All right.
Things are about to get a bit more technical,
Okay.
but I promise we'll focus on the coolest parts.
All right, let's do it. I'm ready to get technical. Okay.
What's the first stop on our behind-the-scenes tour of Zanzibar?
At the heart of Zanzibar. At the heart of Zanzibar, you'll find these specialized servers called ACL servers.
ACL servers.
They're the workhorses handling all the incoming requests from Google products, asking, can this user do this?
Right.
They work together in clusters, kind of like specialized teams, each responsible for managing a portion of the access control data.
So it's a massive team effort with different ACL servers handling different parts of the workload.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But where does all this data actually live?
All the access control information,
Yeah.
all those relation tuples we talked about,
Right.
are stored in Spanner,
Okay.
Google's globally distributed database.
Okay.
Imagine Spanner as a giant, super reliable library where each book contains information about who can access what.
Okay, so Spanner is like the central repository for all of Zanzibar's data.
Yeah.
And because it's globally distributed, that means no matter where you are in the world,
Right.
your requests can be handled quickly by a nearby server.
Exactly.
But with so many changes happening all the time, how does Zanzibar keep everything synchronized?
That's where watch servers come in.
Okay.
These servers constantly monitor a special log called the change log, which records every single change to the access control data.
So it's like a live news feed for all things access control.
Yep.
No one misses a beat.
You got it. Anytime something changes, like someone gets added to a shared folder,
Right.
or permissions are modified,
Yeah.
the watch servers see it and make sure everyone has the most up-to-date information.
Okay.
This is what makes those real-time updates possible.
Wow. I never realized how much was happening behind the scenes to keep everything in sync.
Yeah.
It's like a perfectly choreographed dance. But I have to admit, I'm still a little fuzzy on how Zanzibar handles those really complex scenarios, like when you have groups nested within groups within groups.
Yeah.
Doesn't that get messy?
It can, but Zanzibar has a secret weapon for that.
Okay.
The Leopard indexing system.
Leopard.
Think of Leopard as a master organizer that excels at handling those nested groups.
Okay.
It can quickly figure out if someone is a member of a complex group,
Right.
even if there are tons of layers involved.
So Leopard prevents those deeply nested groups from slowing things down.
Exactly.
That's impressive. But we're talking about trillions of access control checks happening every second.
Yeah.
How does Zanzibar handle that kind of volume without breaking a sweat?
They've got a few more tricks up their sleeve.
Okay.
First, there's replication.
Okay.
Imagine making copies of all those books in our giant library and placing them in libraries around the world.
Right.
That's essentially what replication does.
So instead of everyone having to go to one central location for information,
Yeah.
they can access it from a library that's closer to them.
Mm-hmm.
That explains the speed.
Exactly. And then there's distributed caching.
Okay.
This is like having a cheat sheet for frequently requested information.
Right.
If a particular piece of data, like a group membership list,
Yeah.
is accessed often, Zanzibar stores a copy in the cache so it can be retrieved instantly the next time it's needed.
It's like having a photographic memory for the most important information.
Mm-hmm.
That's brilliant. But what happens if something goes wrong? What if one of those ACL servers starts acting up?
Right.
Or there's a sudden spike in traffic?
Zanzibar has a built-in safety net called performance isolation.
Okay.
It's like having circuit breakers that prevent one small problem from cascading into a major outage.
Okay, that sounds crucial.
Yeah.
How does performance isolation work?
Zanzibar constantly monitors resource usage and can throttle or isolate clients that are consuming too much CPU or making excessive requests.
Okay.
It's like having a traffic cop directing the flow of data and making sure no one is hogging the road.
Right.
This ensures that even if one part of the system experiences a hiccup, the rest of it can keep running smoothly.
So Zanzibar is designed to be resilient even under pressure. That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine building a system this complex must have come with its share of challenges and learning experiences.
Absolutely. The engineers behind Zanzibar shared some valuable lessons they learned along the way.
Okay.
And I think they're relevant to anyone building complex systems.
Okay, I'm all ears. What were some of the key takeaways?
Well, one of the biggest lessons was the importance of flexibility.
Okay.
They realized early on that building a one-size-fits-all authorization system was simply impossible.
Right.
They had to design Zanzibar to be adaptable enough to accommodate the diverse needs of all of Google's products,
Yeah.
each with its own unique access control requirements.
So it's not just about building a system that works today.
Right.
It's about building a system that can evolve and adapt to whatever the future throws at it.
You got it. And closely related to flexibility is the need for constant optimization.
Right.
Zanzibar handles an incredible volume of data and requests.
Yeah.
So even small improvements can have a huge impact on performance.
I imagine optimizing a system of this scale is a never-ending process.
It is. It's an ongoing effort to fine-tune performance, streamline processes, and adapt to changing usage
And
patterns.
of course, there's performance isolation.
Yeah.
They stressed how important that was for Zanzibar's stability.
And absolutely. They learned that performance isolation isn't just a nice to have.
Right.
It's essential for ensuring a stability and reliability of a system as critical as Zanzibar.
Sure.
It's about preventing those unexpected hiccups from turning into full-blown outages.
So it's about building a resilient system that can gracefully handle those inevitable bumps in the road.
Exactly. By embracing flexibility, constantly optimizing and prioritizing performance isolation,
Right.
the engineers behind Zanzibar created a system that's both robust and adaptable.
It's incredible to think that all of this is happening behind the scenes every time we use Google products.
Yeah,
It's like having a silent guardian protecting our digital world.
it is. And that's the beauty of a well-designed system. It just works seamlessly, allowing us to focus on what matters most.
All right, so we've delved into the inner workings of Zanzibar,
Yeah.
from those hardworking ACL servers to the timekeeping magic of Zookeys.
Right.
This system truly is a marvel of engineering.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm curious, what does all this mean for our listeners?
Right.
What's the big takeaway from our deep dive into Zanzibar?
Well, next time you're sharing a Google Doc or watching a YouTube video,
Right.
take a moment to appreciate the incredible work happening behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Zanzibar is constantly evaluating permissions, ensuring that only the right people have access to your data, and doing it all at lightning speed.
It really makes you appreciate the complexity of the systems that power our digital lives.
Yeah.
But I have to wonder, are Zanzibar's ideas limited to just Google products?
It's a great question.
Could its principles be applied to the broader world of online authorization?
That's a great question, and it takes us beyond the technical details of Zanzibar to the bigger picture of online security.
Right.
Think about all the online services we use every day: social media, healthcare, finance.
Yeah.
Each platform has its own way of managing access control, and it can be a real mess.
It's true. Managing permissions across all those different platforms is a headache.
Right.
And it's easy to accidentally overshare information or grant access you didn't intend to.
Exactly. What if we could apply some of Zanzibar's core principles, consistency, flexibility, and performance, to create a more unified and secure approach to authorization across the entire internet?
That would be a game changer.
Yeah.
Imagine having one consistent way to manage your permissions for all your online accounts.
Right.
It would be so much simpler and more secure. So we're talking about a potential paradigm shift in how we think about online security. Instead of this patchwork of different systems, we could have one unified approach.
It's a fascinating idea, and honestly one that's worth exploring. Of course it wouldn't be easy.
Right.
There would be technical hurdles to overcome, privacy concerns to address, and the big one, getting different companies and platforms to agree on a common system.
Yeah, getting everyone to play nicely together is always a challenge. But imagine the possibilities if we could pull it off. It would be like the United Nations of online security.
Exactly. We could have a system where users have more control over their data, where businesses can collaborate more securely, and where the entire internet is just a safer place. It's a bold vision, but Zanzibar shows us that it's not entirely out of reach.
It's exciting to think that the work Google is doing could have such far-reaching impact. It's like
Right.
they're not just solving a problem for their own products, they're potentially paving the way for a more secure future for everyone online.
And that's what I find so inspiring about technology. When we solve challenging problems in one area, it often creates ripples that lead to innovation in other areas. Zanzibar might be focused on Google products today, but who knows what kind of impact its ideas will have on the future of online security as a whole.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into Zanzibar. We've gone from the nitty-gritty details of Zookies and Axe servers to the grand vision of a more unified and secure online world.
It's been quite a journey, and it's a reminder that even though we often don't see it, there's a lot of brilliant work happening behind the scenes to keep our digital lives running smoothly and safely.
Exactly. So next time you're sharing a file or watching a video online, take a moment to think about all the complex systems working tirelessly to protect your data and make those experiences possible. It's pretty amazing when you stop to think about it.
It really is, and it's a testament to the power of human ingenuity and collaboration.
Well, folks, that brings us to the end of our deep dive. We hope you learned something new and are walking away with a newfound appreciation for the unseen forces that power our online world.
Until next time, keep exploring.